Chuck Smith has flipped 4,000 houses, been in business for 20 plus years, was featured in Forbes, has been on 100 plus interviews, spoke to 20,000 people, and was the highest paid non-celebrity speaker at the Learning Annex.
A great show for you today. We have the wolf of real estate investing with us today, Chuck Smith, out of, I think out of Chicago, I think out of Illinois. We'll find out in a moment. But Chuck has flipped over 4,000 homes. He is a retired cop. We love police officers here on this show. We are a fan of law enforcement. So without any further ado, I would like to welcome the self-proclaimed, by the way, and we all are pretty much, wolf of real estate investing. Welcome to the Marshall Sylver Live Show, Chuck Smith. Chuck, welcome home.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor, Marshall.
So, Chuck, where are you located?
I'm actually in Cleveland, Ohio.
We were just in Cleveland.
You should have called me.
Yeah, we were just in Cleveland. We just did a turning point there, and we had a phenomenal time. Our next turning point is coming up in Las Vegas in March. So, Chuck, you used to be a police officer. Where were you a police officer?
Cleveland, Ohio.
And I've got a really interesting story about police officers in Cleveland, Ohio. So before we get started, I want to share this story with you. My family was driving from Michigan, and we were in a station wagon hauling a trailer behind us. The trailer's tires were too tiny, and they were blown out every few hundred miles. And in the middle of the night, on an extremely rainy night in Cleveland, Ohio, our van blew a tire. And we blew the tire. We were unable to get completely off the freeway. And so a cop pulled up behind us, and the cop told us we have to pull off the freeway. My mom said, "We've got flat tire. We're concerned you're going to destroy the axle." But the cop very gruffly said, "You got to pull off the road. You're going to cause an accident. You're going to get hurt. The axle is going to be the least of your concerns." So we pulled off the side of the road. And mind you, I'm 14 years old, but I'm the man of the trip. So my mom, me, my three younger siblings, and the cop was not being friendly. I could tell he was just frustrated that he had to deal with this inconvenience in the middle of the night. And so he took my mom, left the kids in the car, took my mom to go see if she could find a tire. It's late at night. Everything's closed. No tire available. So he brings my mom back and he says, "I'll give you a ride to a motel." My mom said, "We don't really have the money for a motel. We're just going to sleep in the car." The cop said, "You can't sleep in the car." And so he took us to his house. My mom, myself, my three siblings took us to his house, fed us dinner, let us spend the night there, took showers, which was the first shower we'd had in a couple of days, all at his home overnight before he got us back on the road. So I just wanted to say, Cleveland, Ohio, and law enforcement, all good by me. Let's talk about flipping houses. How long you been in the real estate game?
I've been in the real estate game 24 years. I was a cop with the Cleveland Police Department, and I found that with 4 kids, a family of 6, it was extremely difficult to support a family on that salary. So I started looking around. I looked at real estate. I went to a few seminars, which most of them were very good. But when I got into the real estate flipping game, I noticed that there were, some things worked for me very well. Some things didn't work. So I started to write down why they worked, why they didn't work. I took copious notes and developed my own system, which, in the heyday, I was flipping anywhere from 10 to 12 houses per month, which is a lot, which is how I got to the 4,000 houses flipped arena.
Yeah, that's a lot. Even at 120 houses a year, 4,000 is a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. I started doing it out of my own home. I decided I was going to rent an office, which was a big mistake because you don't need an office. Because when you want to see a house, you go to the house. When you meet a contractor, you meet a contractor at the house, and
Right.
so on. So that's how
True. You don't need an office. In fact, if anything, that the scamdemic showed us when everybody went home and worked from home is that most people don't need an office.
Yeah, and a few of the things I do not teach are landlording and buying pre-foreclosures, because I cannot tell you how many. I don't know if you remember back during the pandemic, they had a moratorium on evicting people for non-payment of rent, and I
Yep.
can't tell you how many houses I bought from people that landlords couldn't make the nut; they couldn't pay the rent, so that's where I am today. And I don't know at what point you want to talk about it, but I want to tell you how you changed my life. I don't
Yeah,
know.
let's start with that. How did I change your life?
Well, once I developed my own system of real estate, people were calling me constantly. They're like, can you teach me how to do this? So one of the first seminars I went to was your seminar on seminars. And I learned so many things from you. A lot of people.
And when was this?
Oh my God, this was 23 years ago. And you had
Around
some.
2000.
Yeah, so you had some.
Have you always lived in Ohio?
Yeah, unfortunately, but all my kids live here. I've been blessed with a wonderful business that literally changed my life. I walked away from law enforcement, and the only reason I'm still in Cleveland, Ohio, and I own a condo in Myrtle Beach. I go there every now and then, but the only reason I'm in Cleveland, Ohio is all my kids are here, and I can't live. I cannot live without seeing my kids. I have a granddaughter now. So that's why I'm still in Cleveland, Ohio.
Well, I'm glad the seminars had so much impact. How are, obviously 4,000 properties, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And you mentioned something about your strategy. How are your strategies different than any other real estate investor?
Well, the easiest way to put it is what my system teaches, it works. It's from the street, from like when I was a street cop. That's how my system developed, because when something worked, I wrote it down. When something did not work, I wrote that down too. And that's literally how my system came about. And I just started flipping properties. When I left the Cleveland Police Force over 24 years ago, I just went haywire. I mean, I had a system going. I was cranking out anywhere from 10 to 12 houses per month. And my system covers a lot of what works in the real world. I've trained under some of the best people out there, like Ronald Grant. He endorses my system. Great guy. And I basically teach everything that you can do to flip properties. And that's anywhere from contract assignment, where you put a property under contract, you have what's called an equitable interest in the property, and then you can then sell your position in the property. And that includes even bank-owned properties where they say in the contract, this contract is not assignable. Well, by accident, I found out that you can do that by using just a different LLC or corporation. I teach private lending. I give my students a business plan. that I use to raise close to $60 million today from private lenders who fund my deals. And then I split it with them 50%, 50-50. I teach luxury homes. I don't know if you get a copy of that check where I did a luxury home deal where I made $183,000 on one deal. So basically, it works. It works in the real world.
Very cool.
And when I had the honor of meeting you and coming to your seminars, I had never done a seminar before. And you went around the room and you had everybody stand up and talk about, what they do and what they teach. And you were kind enough, I'm sure you don't remember this because it was so long ago, you were kind enough to take me off to the side and say, Chuck, you have to teach this system to as many people as you can because you can change people's lives. Most people's problems are money problems. That's probably the number one reason for divorce is that they don't have enough money.
Yeah, I would agree. Money most certainly does cure most things. What's your process? So are you actively doing seminars right now?
I haven't done a seminar in years. I've got one coming up in September. I mostly do, right now I've been doing a lot of one-on-one coaching with students.
Very cool. And do you have any digital downloads that you give to people kind of as an introduction?
Oh yeah, I have. Anybody comes into my coaching program or comes into my seminar, they get everything, every manual. I think there's like 7 manuals, and they also get an audio version of me teaching them personally. So when they come to me, they have a complete understanding of where we're going to start from and where we're going to go.
But you said that you're not doing any seminars until September of this year.
Right.
Got it. Cool. How do people find out more information from you?
You can go to my website, chucksmithsystems.com.
Awesome.
And you're going to see, unlike, and I don't like to bash gurus, real estate gurus, but unlike you ever hear the term baby born guru? They do what? Yeah, they do like 2 or 3 deals, and all of a sudden they're teaching it. I have video testimonials going back 24 years of students who have taken my seminars or even taken my courses, and they produce checks, and we show it all on there. And I mean, I've trained medical doctors, lawyers. I even had one student, he was in federal prison, and turned out to be a great guy. He did something illegal. He did his time. He had to get permission from the judge, his parole officer, who contacted me personally. And he came to my seminar, and he made $10,000 within a few weeks.
Well, that's a lot of cigarettes in prison.
Yeah. And what's weird is I wrote a book back in 2003 called From Cop to CEO, and it was the most widely read book in prison. It was getting passed around. I'm glad I wasn't getting passed around, but the book was getting passed around. Little joke there.
Yeah. So
But,
chucksmithsystems.com is where they can go to find out more about you.
yep.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you taking time out on a very wet day in Southern California to be with us, and for all things real estate oriented, chucksmithsystems.com is a place to go. Appreciate you. Enjoy the show, and I look forward to seeing you in person at a Turning Point.
Oh yeah, you're going to see me big time.
Awesome.
Are you still doing the seminar on seminars?
We still do speaker training. In fact, we have a very powerful program called MVP, which is Massive Volume Presentations, which is a remote course, actually. And then the in-person course we teach is a 2-day training called Crush It from the Stage or Platform.
Because I want everybody to know that, prior to your training, I had spoken maybe to 100 people at most. Next thing I know, the Learning Annex put me in front of 25,000 people.
Which event did you do?
I did the one on luxury homes.
Yeah, but which city did you do? Because I worked them all.
It was in New York City, the Jacob Javits Center. And we had Donald Trump.
I know. I spoke. I was on stage right before Donald Trump at the Javits Center.
Wow. And you didn't smile at me.
I didn't even know you were there. I knew that Robert Kiyosaki was there. Scott Steele was there.
Yeah.
Trump was there for sure.
But I can remember some words you told me. I said, man, I can't speak in front of that many people, 20,000. You said, go out there and be yourself. Be authentic.
Yeah.
And
sounds like great advice. Hey, I appreciate you being here. I've got to jump. I've got a whole bunch of guests to jump to. Thanks for being on the show, and I look forward to seeing you at a speaker training real soon.
Thank you.
Take care, brother.